The Roundtable User Preferences dialog allows you to modify several behaviors for all your Roundtable sessions when using the GUI client. From the Roundtable tabletop menu, choose Admin Preferences to access the Roundtable User Preferences dialog. You can change any of the following preferences. First, Compile. The Compile with XREF on Object Assign checkbox. Checking it will tell Roundtable to compile an object with the XREF option anytime you assign an object to a workspace. In other words, assigning an object is manually placing an object version into a workspace. We'll cover objects, object versioning, compiling, and the assign process in a later module. If you want this to occur, in other words compiling, whenever you do an assign, check the box. The recommendation is to leave this checked. This ensures that all new objects in a workspace are compiled. In the Databases section, connect Workspace databases. Checking this box tells Roundtable to connect to the database in a workspace anytime you select the new working workspace. Staying connected to the Workspace database or databases ensures that you can compile code at any time. The recommendation: if the databases for each workspace are normally open in multi-user mode and available for connection from your Roundtable client, check the box. If you're developing in remote mode and you don't have a direct connection to all of your application databases, you might not want to check this box. So it all depends on what your environment looks like. In the Prompts section, there's a couple of checkboxes. Show dialog before editing a read-only program. Checking this box tells Roundtable to warn users opening read-only files with a dialog box, in addition to having read-only up in the title bar. Recommendation: it depends on what you want to see. If you think your developers will forget to look at the title bar, then you might want to check this box. Suppress version notes prompt. Checking this box will tell Roundtable to not display the notes dialog when closing an object that you've opened for editing. The recommendation: although the notes dialog can be slightly annoying, it is a very good reminder for developers to provide notes explaining changes they've just made. Leave it unchecked at first. You can always come back and change it later if you find the notes dialog just too bothersome. Next, in the Startup section is the Startup procedure. Use this combo box to tell Roundtable which OpenEdge procedure to run when you launch Roundtable. The valid choices are: blank means nothing, just run Roundtable, or you can run the desktop, or the app builder, or the editor. The recommendation depends on what you're actually trying to do or how you normally develop applications. In most cases, you might want to either leave it blank, or if you do use the app builder, you probably want the app builder running there in the background so you can easily open Windows-based or app builder-based programs in the app builder. The end result? It's up to you, whatever works best for your development environment. And lastly is the Visual Diff section. There are several places where you're able to launch the Visual Diff tool, and that basically is the ability to compare two different files or two different versions of the same file. Roundtable will launch the Visual Diff tool using the command that you enter here, so you can pretty much link it up to any Visual Diff tool. The syntax is command space and then 4 arguments, %1, %2, %3, and %4. The optional arguments are: %1 is the path name to the first file, %2 is the path name to the second file, %3 and %4 are the titles for the first and the second file. And by the way, I'm using Beyond Compare. That's just the compare tool that I prefer, but you can use any tool that you want, either commercial, freeware, or shareware. Roundtable stores all changes you make to this dialog box in the Windows registry under the current user when you choose OK.